Hello everybody again. This is the part 2 scooter review of the Royal Alloy. You might remember my last review I did some months ago, well, quite a few months ago to be perfectly honest, and I've just added a few little additions to the bike in question, and I just thought I'd share it with you because a lot of people ask me where have you got the seat from and vice versa. And I recall last time I had the Tasso exhaust on the bike. This time I've slightly changed that. I've now currently got, as you can see, the PM Tuning exhaust, which looks very nice. The little pigtail, the little gold bracket, it looks very nice, I must say, and it fits, to be honest, very easy. And it looks quite good. It's quite a nice appearance, and it does sound very nice. And I will demonstrate that for you in a second. As you can see, the usual, excuse the pun, the mod cons are on there. Like you said, the shield, which was as you can see, fitted when I got the bike. I paid a little bit of extra money for it. I think it was about 80 quid, but I got a deal in with everything. The little RAC badge, let me just make sure that nice and shiny for you. Reason I put that on it just sounded good. Royal Alloy Club, and it's quite a vintage. I think it's the 1960s, but if anybody can correct me, you can do, not a problem. Please leave a comment or remark and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And obviously you can see the Bates headlamp. I must say, they're not cheap, but when they are working, and mine does, but the other ones are not, which I'm hoping to get done very shortly, they do illuminate the road quite a bit. Now, some of you eagle-eyed people might have seen the carrier, the 3-in-1 carrier. And no doubt I'm going to be asked, oh, where did you get that from? Well, as far as I'm aware, a lot of my friends are scooterists, have the classic Lambrettas and the Vespas, and I believe this is off a Vespa. As you can see, I've not quite had this upholstered yet, but I'm open for suggestions. I think I'm going to get it in white with, again, the blue piping, but I'm looking for something, either an emblem on the front or on the back or the rear of the pad. Any suggestions, feel free. If I like it, I'll put it on, and it's down to you. And also the rear carrier. Now, you might be noticing how I fitted this. Well, let me say, it wasn't mega easy, but it wasn't that hard. I've utilised the standard rack which comes on the bike. Now, I have had to cut it down a bit crudely, to say the least, but with the amount of chrome on it, you really can't see that. You can't see an issue with it. Okay, so I've cut the rear carrier down so I can get the frame of the rear carrier just sat underneath it and bolted on with bolts which go and utilise the originals. You can see I've got the original bolts there and the original bolt there, which was fitted on the carrier. Cut it down, but use longer bolts for the back so it's steady. And some people say, well, hang on, do they not have a plate underneath? How would you fit it on your seat? Well, again, it's been cut off, as you can see, well and truly cut off. So that would have had a plate, but because of the fixing and the securing of the Royal Alloy seat, it would not have fat. That's me there, I'm fat. It wouldn't have fit snugly and flush to the bottom of the seat. So I've cut it off. Can hardly see any grind marks on it, to be perfectly honest. I can't see very little. Maybe just a tiny bit on that side. So what it does, when I put the seat down, as demonstrated, there you go. Seat's rock solid, and it's hard to demonstrate because I don't want the bike to fall over. As probably some of you will know, the centre stands are not absolutely fantastic. There is an issue with centre stands, but I'll get back to that in a second. As you can see, it is rock solid. I can lift the bike up, put it on its centre stand, no problem, and it will take all the weight you need to put on it. So if you budding scooterists who like to go out to the club scene, sorry about my finger there, want to put all your luggage on it, ample room, tent, sleeping bag, whatever you so need, and also the spur wheel. Right, well, you'll probably find out if you get one, the wheels on these do not fit. They're way too thick. The width on the wheel is too thick. But it's handy if like a bit of Northern Soul, a nice little Northern Soul bag to match your rear rack. That would look absolutely fantastic in it. And it also keeps any waterproofs. As my friend says, who's also got the same bike as me, a couple of cans for when they all go out on a couple of rallies. And then you can see the little fiberglass aerial. Okay, yes, some people might be saying I've got quite a large garden, but yeah, I've got no shed. My scooter won't fit in this, and unfortunately I have to put this in my dad's house, which is a shame. So it is a vintage Vespa 3-in-1 rear rack, as you can see, just in case anyone else knows what sort of area I'm from. And it fits very nice, absolutely fantastic, and it does, as you can see, sets the bike off absolutely lovely. What else have we had? Oh, the exhaust. You nearly made me forget. The exhaust, PM Tuning exhaust. I paid, I think, in excess, oops, there's where I'm getting down, I'm not as old and young as I used to be. I paid in excess, I think it was over £200, but it does sound very, very nice. And as you can see with the pigtail, a bit of a retro look. I think PM have done that in relation to these particular bikes. There is, again, other alternative aftermarket exhausts, which can, again, range from about 130 quid up to about 350 odd quid. So it all depends on your budget and what you want. Right, exhaust. Before I do forget, I'm going to just start it up for you so you can have a little listen. I don't know if anybody else had any problems as well with the batteries, but I've had a little bit of a problem with my battery at some stage. So just bear with me a second while I start it up. Oops, there's it. Which I'm going to struggle with. So just bear with me 1 minute and I'll get it started straight away. Right, I do apologise about that. That's not very good camera skills, but I've only got 2 arms. As you can hear, it sounds very nice. It does sound a very, very nice exhaust, and people remember I had the Tasso last time, and the Tasso in itself was loud, very, very loud, and for me it was a bit uncomfortable when you give a bit of a top end. And even though I was running the bike in on that particular date, it was just too loud for me. It didn't sit right. It wasn't for me. And don't get me wrong, if Mr. Tasso is watching, cracking built exhaust, but just that little bit loud for me. Right, what else have we got for you? The centre stand. People have been worried about the centre stand, and rightly so. Luckily I'm not one of them where the centre stand's actually fallen off the bike, or it's for some reason come off it, but it just seems that the angle of the stand in itself isn't fantastic. It's not the best. As you can see, it's almost upright. I think that in itself, if Royal Alloy is watching this, maybe have a little think, a little jig around with the nuts and bolts and make it so it does sit nice and firmly when it's on the centre stand. Okay, as you can probably tell as well, I've got a bit of a cold. My experience since I've had the bike since March 2018, bought brand new by myself from our good friends at Liberty Motorcycles in Blackpool. A little plug, again, there is other motorcyclists you can buy these cracking bikes from. There's not a lot. There's no negatives I can physically say about the bike. A lot of people have mentioned the top end and 70 and 80. I'm a little bit of an old fart. I had an old PX, a Vespa, many moons ago in the 80s. It wasn't the fastest, but it got me where I wanted to go, where I needed to go. This being an injector is, I know it's a lot more reliable than what I had on my old PX, but and a lot of people have said they love the sound of the two-stroke noise. And yes, I agree. Been there, I've done it, but at my age, I'm in my 40s, coming on nearly to 50s, a midlife crisis, I wanted something which is a bit more reliable, and subsequently this was the bike for me. And I can't say that I can really choose a negative point about the bike. The quality is good. I bet, yes, people do mention the plastic side panels and they would like metal, and there is other bikes, as in the Scamadi, which they can get a metal one, and you can also get it in the GP version of this bike. Right, shock absorbers, how I found them. I think quite stiff, quite hard. There's not a lot of leeway in when you go over bumps. You feel everything. As you probably noticed, they are adjustable shocks, but I have never adjusted them. Not yet anyway. I'm awaiting a guinea pig of mine who's got the same colour bike, same year, to adjust these so I can see and feel exactly how they ride. I'm not mechanically minded, so I don't want to adjust them. And I know what people are saying, well, it's not that hard, is it? You're a bit stupid. There's a spanner which you get with the bike to adjust the shocks, but I just can't be bothered doing it at this stage. Right, what else is there? What else would people have asked me? Things like accessories, where'd you get certain items, where'd you get the accessories from? Most of these, the first picture or the first video I did of the bike, the accessories were put on the bike when I had the bike. When I bought it, it was a little package deal. I wanted certain things, the likes of the paint job on the battery case itself, and also the battery box, the stripes on the front, were all done by Liberty Motorcycles in Blackpool on my behalf. Right, what else is there? There's not really a lot I can say. All I can say, when I do get more, and I have got plans to do further things to the bike, I will upload another video which will be called, guess what, part 3, and we can discuss any potential future faults. If you want to leave a remark or a question, please feel free to do so. I can't say follow the link below because I'm not that clever, I'm not tech minded. I just do a video and upload it. Or if you want to subscribe to my channel, which I haven't got a clue what that means, but I think it means you physically just watch any other video which gets highlighted in the future, please feel free to do. Any suggestions, you know something, I'm up for anything. I'm not an endless pot of money, but if I find something what you've suggested, I'll have a go, put it on there and let's see what it looks like. So I could potentially be the guinea pig. So that is the end of my video for the time being, and I know it's been a long, nearly 14 minutes. Any questions, please feel free to drop us a little message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and safe riding.